Who was the Zodiac Killer? And what psychological motivations drove him to commit such calculated murders and taunt authorities with cryptic messages? Why has the Zodiac case remained unsolved for over 5 decades, despite extensive investigations and advancements in forensic science? Could the Zodiac still be alive in 2025, potentially watching the ongoing fascination with his crimes? Or did he deliberately disappear to evade justice forever? These questions are designed to captivate subscribers by delving into the killer's psyche, the enduring mystery of his identity, and the chilling possibility that he might still be out there, fueling intrigue and discussion. Story: The Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California, primarily the San Francisco Bay Area, from the late 1960s to early 1970s, leaving a legacy as one of America's most enigmatic serial killers. Active between 1968 and 1969, he claimed at least 5 confirmed victims, though he bragged in letters about killing up to 37. His confirmed murders include December 20th, 1968, David Faraday 17 and Betty Lou Jensen 16, shot dead on a lover's lane in Vallejo, California, while parked in their car, July 4th, 1969. Darlene Ferrin, 22, killed, and Michael Mago, 19, wounded in a Vallejo parking lot, also a lover's lane, September 27th, 1969. Cecelia Shepard, 22, stabbed to death, and Brian Hartnell, 20, injured at Lake Berryessa in Napa County. The killer wore a hooded costume with a crosshair symbol, spoke calmly, and tied the victims before attacking. October 11th, 1969. Paul Stine, 29, a San Francisco cab driver, shot in his taxi in Presidio Heights, a departure from the Zodiac's usual rural targets. The Zodiac's hallmark was his brazen communication with authorities and the public. Starting in 1969, he sent dozens of letters to newspapers like the San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco Examiner, and Vallejo Times-Herald. These letters, often signed with a crosshair-like symbol, included chilling details about the murders, such as the type of ammunition used or victims' positions, that only the killer could know, verifying his authenticity. He demanded his letters be published on front pages, threatening more killings if ignored. His writings were erratic, filled with misspellings, possibly intentional, and exuded a mix of arrogance and theatricality, referring to himself as the Zodiac. The killer included complex ciphers in his letters, challenging police and readers to decode them. The first, a 408-character cipher sent in 3 parts to different newspapers in August 1969, was solved within days by Donald and Betty Harden, a schoolteacher couple. It revealed a disturbing manifesto. "I like killing people because it is so much fun. Man is the most dangerous animal of all. I will not give you my name." Another cipher, the 340-character Zodiac 340, sent in November 1969, baffled experts for 51 years until a team of amateur cryptographers, David Orenchek, Sam Blake, and Jarl Van Eyck, cracked it in December 2020. It read in part, "I'm not afraid of the gas chamber. I'm just having fun with you." Neither cipher revealed his identity, deepening the enigma. The Zodiac's audacity extended beyond letters. He called police shortly after murders, such as after Stine's killing, to report his crimes, using a calm, taunting tone. At Lake Berryessa, he left a message scrawled on the victim's car door, listing earlier murder dates and his crosshair symbol. He claimed to attend victims' funerals, blending into crowds, and even hinted at targeting school buses, escalating public panic. By 1974, his confirmed letters dwindled, with sporadic, unverified messages appearing until 1978. Some speculate he stopped due to death, incarceration, or a deliberate choice to vanish, leaving Northern California in a state of lingering fear. His case inspired widespread cultural fascination, spawning books, documentaries, and films like Zodiac, 2007, while online forums and X-posts continue to dissect every detail. Evidence. The Zodiac left physical evidence, but it has never conclusively identified him. Crime scenes yielded 7.65 millimeters and 9 millimeters bullet casings, a partial palm print on Stine's taxi, and fingerprints, but none matched any suspect definitively. A composite sketch from the Stine murder, based on teenage eyewitnesses who saw the killer, wiping down the cab, described a white male, 35 to 45, 5 feet 8, 5'10", stocky, with short brown hair and glasses. Surviving victims like Hartnell and Mago provided descriptions, but these varied. Hartnell recalled a calm, articulate voice, while Mago's account was less clear due to trauma. A bloody glove found at one scene and fabric impressions at Lake Berryessa from the killer's costume offered clues but no breakthroughs. The Zodiac's letters and ciphers are the most scrutinized evidence. The 408 cipher, solved in 1969, confirmed his sadistic motives but offered no personal details. The 340 cipher, decoded in 2020, reiterated his taunts but lacked a name. Two other ciphers, the Exorcist letter cipher, 1974, and a map cipher, remain unsolved, fueling speculation they hold his identity. Handwriting analysis of the letters, conducted in the 1970s, was inconclusive due to possible deliberate alterations. DNA evidence is limited. In the 2000s, San Francisco police extracted a partial profile from letter stamps, but it was contaminated and unusable. In 2023, Vallejo police sent samples for genetic genealogy analysis, a technique that solved the Golden State Killer case, but as of June 2025, no results have been publicized, likely due to degraded or insufficient DNA investigators pursued. Over 2,500 suspects, with Arthur Leigh Allen, 1933 to 1992, as the most prominent. Allen, a Vallejo schoolteacher, matched the composite sketch, owned a Zodiac brand watch matching the killer's symbol, wore military boots like those at Lake Berryessa, and had a history of disturbing behavior, including allegations of child molestation. A 1971 search of his home found knives, guns, and a typewriter, but no direct evidence. His fingerprints, handwriting, and 2002 DNA test didn't match the Zodiac's. Other suspects include Lawrence Kane, linked by a cipher anagram and a witness identification, and Gary Post, named by amateur group The Case Breakers in 2021, but both lack solid evidence. Recent X-posts and web sources speculate about Post, citing forehead scars matching the sketch, but police dismiss this as inconclusive, emphasizing the need for forensic proof. Doubt. The Zodiac's identity remains unsolved due to multiple factors. In the 1960s, forensic science was primitive, no DNA profiling existed, and fingerprint databases were limited to local records. The killer's apparent care wearing gloves, using different weapons, and possibly disguising his handwriting minimized traceable evidence. His ciphers and letters may have included deliberate red herrings, like false motives or clues, to mislead investigators. For instance, his claim of collecting slaves for the afterlife could be a psychological ploy rather than truth. The degradation of evidence over decades, such as faded fingerprints or contaminated DNA, hinders modern analysis. The case's complexity is compounded by its high profile. Thousands of tips flooded police, diluting focus. Allen, the strongest suspect, was cleared by physical evidence mismatches, though some, like friend Don Chaney, claimed he confessed privately. Other suspects, like Rick Marshall, a San Francisco projectionist, or even Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, rely on circumstantial speculation without forensic backing. Theories on X suggest the Zodiac had law enforcement or military training, explaining his evasion tactics, but no records support this. Some believe he stopped killing after 1969, possibly due to incarceration for unrelated crimes, death, perhaps by suicide, as he hinted in letters, or a psychological shift. Others argue he moved to another region or assumed a new identity, given his final letters' hints at disappearing. Amateur sleuths and media sensationalism add confusion. The 2021 Post theory, widely discussed on X, claimed he matched the sketch and led a posse of killers, but Vallejo police rejected it for lack of evidence. Web sources often recycle unverified claims, like alleged cipher solutions naming random individuals. The cultural obsession amplified by films, podcasts, and online forums keeps the case alive but muddies serious investigation. If alive in 2025, the Zodiac would likely be in his 80s or 90s, assuming he was 35 to 45 during the killings, raising questions about whether he's watching the fascination unfold. Questions: can genetic genealogy or emerging forensic technologies, like advanced DNA phenotyping, finally solve the Zodiac case, or has time erased critical evidence? Did the Zodiac stop killing because he was imprisoned for unrelated crimes, died, or chose to vanish into a normal life, possibly still alive today? Do the unsolved ciphers or letters hold the key to his identity, or were they crafted as unsolvable taunts to ensure his legacy endures?